Once upon a time, in the small town of Uli, there lived a man named Jude. He was the best driver in the community. For over 15 years, he has been driving passengers across different towns without any accidents. People trusted him. They believed that as long as Jude was driving, they were safe. He could drive with one hand while eating roasted corn with the other. He knew every road, every corner, and every shortcut. No matter the weather, either rain or sunshine, he always got his passengers to their destinations on time. But there was one thing off about Jude. He never prayed before traveling. Whenever passengers gathered to pray before a journey, he would step aside, cross his arms, and shake his head. Prayer does not drive a car, he always said. Good driving does. People warned him, but he didn't listen. His wife, Omalicha, begged him every morning before he left the house. My husband, please say a short prayer before you go. Jude would laugh, kiss her forehead, and say, Omalicha, I know these rules like the back of my hand. Prayers will not change anything. His wife would sigh, shake her head, and whisper a prayer on his behalf. She worried about him, but she could do nothing more than pray silently. Jude's stubbornness frustrated her, but she believed that one day he would understand the power of prayer. Omalicha was not just a praying woman, she was also a woman of faith. Every morning, before Jude leaves for work, she would kneel down beside their bed and pray for his safety. At times, she could confide in her close friend Uju about her worries. Uju, I fear for my husband. He is a good man, but he does not see the need for prayer. I have told him many times, but he laughed it off, she said. Uju would assure her that nothing bad will happen to her husband, that she should just keep praying for him, that he will change one day. But life has a way of teaching lessons. And one day, Jude learned his lessons the hard way. It was a bright Monday morning. A group of students from Decency Academy Secondary School had just finished their final exams. They were excited because they were traveling to another city for a school competition. The students, both boys and girls, dressed in their neatly ironed school uniforms, were full of energy. They carried small bags filled with snacks, books, and their writing materials. By 7 a.m., they all gathered at the school gate. The principal and teachers stood with them, giving last-minute instructions. A female teacher, Madam Clara, raised her hand. She said, Before we go, let us pray for a safe journey. The students closed their eyes, ready to pray. But Jude, their driver, stepped aside, crossed his arms, and sighed. He said, Madam Clara, I've been driving for 15 years now. Prayer does not drive a car. The students looked at him surprised. One brave student, Izzy, spoke up. Sir, even if you're a good driver, anything can still happen. Let us just pray. Jude shook his head. You students don't know anything about driving. Enter the bus, let's go. Madam Clara sighed and whispered a prayer in her heart. The students entered the bus. Some still said short prayers silently before the journey began. For the first 2 hours of the journey, it was smooth. The students were excited. Some were singing, some were playing games, and others were talking about the competition. Then, as they passed a small village, something strange happened. A madman stood by the roadside. His clothes were dirty, his hair looked rough, and his eyes were wide. As Jude drove past, the madman suddenly pointed at his bus and shouted, Driver, stop and pray before it is too late. The students became quiet. Some looked at each other with fear. Madam Clara sucked in a breath. heart pounding. She said, God is warning us. But Jude only laughed as usual. He said, see this madman. I don't have time for this nonsense. The students were uncomfortable, but since the driver didn't listen, they all continued the journey. But deep in Jude's heart, something felt strange. Then, a few hours later, they reached a dark, lonely road. This place was called the Eagle Forest. Every driver knew this road was dangerous. Many bad things happened here, including armed robbery, accidents, and even mysterious disappearances. The students became quiet. Some held their chests, while others started praying under their breaths. Even the birds stopped singing. But Jude was not afraid. I have driven on this road many times before. Nothing will happen, he thought. Then, suddenly, a loud noise came from the front of the bus. The steering wheel became stiff. The bus started swerving left and right. The brakes were not working. The students screamed. Panic filled the bus. The students held onto their seats. Some started crying. Madam Clara shouted, driver, slow down. I can't. The brakes are not working, Jude yelled back. The bus was moving too fast, and just ahead was a deep valley. The students were terrified. Some covered their eyes, afraid of what would happen. One student, Ife, cried out, Jesus, save us! Another student, Daniel, started praying loudly, God, please don't let us die. Even those who didn't believe in prayer joined in. Madam Clara shouted, driver, pray! Only you can save us now. For the first time in his life, Jude panicked. His heart was beating very fast. Sweat dripped from his forehead. Then, for the first time in his life, he prayed. With tears in his eyes, he shouted, God, please help me. At that moment, something strange happened. The bus hit a large stone inside of the road and stopped. Just a few inches away from the valley. Silence filled the bus. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. They could not believe they were still alive. Another bus passed by and stopped to help them. Jude stepped out and still shaking. He could not believe what had just happened. Madam Clara walked up to him and said, do you now believe in prayer? Tears filled Jude's eyes. He fell to his knees and said, Madam, I believe. If not for God, we would all be dead. From that day on, Jude changed. Before every journey, he prayed. Every time he reached his destination safely, he thanked God. One day, he told his wife, Omalicha, my love, you were right. Prayer is very important. If I had prayed earlier, maybe that accident would not have happened. His wife smiled and held his hands. God is merciful, my husband. He has given you another chance. From that day, Jude became a preacher. Before every journey, he made sure his passengers prayed. If anyone refuses, he would say, my friend, if you don't want to pray, come down. I don't drive a bus without God's protection. Now, whenever Jude tells his story, he ends with these words. Students, no matter how smart you are, no matter how prepared you are, if God is not with you, anything can happen. So, my dear students, before you travel, always pray because you never know what is waiting for you on the road. Hi, besties! Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Like and comment on the video. Thank you!